Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody out in social media land and TV land. Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. I, of course, am Ray Amanat, and this is my show. A little technical difficulties, so let's do that. The Ray Amanat Show. Um, and for those of you, and I would love to get an email from you. What I'm going to do is the fifth person that sends an email to me, and you can send your email to info at the The fifth person that emails me and talks about the show, if you like it, you don't like it, or whatever else, send me an email, send me your contact information. The fifth person gets um, an autographed signed copy of my book, Bully, Victim, or Hero. This one right here, I'll autograph it and I will send it to you. Um, let's get those emails coming in. The fifth email at info at the will get a free autographed copy of Bully, Victim, or Hero, a book I wrote a long, long time ago, but it does well. So, today's topic, um, well, let's also do a shout out to the OBBM Network. Those of you that are interested in learning more about OBBM Network, you can go obbmnetwork.tv. They've got other podcasts that they show that are all pretty much conservative talk shows that talk about what's happening in the news. They've got news show. They've got tips show for home improvements or anything like that. So you just got to go check out their network at the obbmnetwork.tv. We have a lot to get into today. In the I'm just saying portion, last time we talked about is who is Kamala Harris. Today, I would like to talk about are Kamala Harris and her vice presidential pick, Tim Walz, who's the governor of Minnesota, qualified to be our next president and vice president. I know all the news media sources, uh, most of your left wing news media sources, they're all, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since Barack Hussein Obama. But Fox News, One American News, Newsmax, they're all really doing a deep dive into who is Kamala Harris and who is Tim Walz. What are the qualifications? It has nothing to do, when Joe Biden said, I am going to pick a black female to be my vice president, he said nothing about their qualifications. So I don't look at Kamala Harris as her gender. I don't look at her as her race, which is funny because they can't even identify what a female is or what a woman is. But when it comes to, oh, please elect me, I'm a black female, then that matters. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, or they can't identify what a woman is. But I digress. You have Kamala Harris that was picked because she was a black female. It wasn't because of her qualifications. And we're going to do a little bit of a dive into that. So let's get into the first thing I want to share with you all is this right here. Are Kamala Harris and Tim Walz qualified to be our president? Now, I hope you guys are doing your own research. I hope you're looking into everything that Tim Walz has done as a governor of Minnesota. I hope you're looking at the flip flopping that Kamala Harris is doing, where, in her own words, they have video footage of her saying one thing about energy, her saying one thing about the border, her saying one thing about the wars in Israel and Russia and uh, other areas, Ukraine. But now she's totally doing a flip flop on all of those. Is she going to take her guns? Is she not going to take her guns? Let's look into some of this. Let's look at Tim Walz first.
And inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. I think the mayor said I request a National Guard. Phew, I'm out. This is great. We're going to have massively trained troops. No, you're going to have 19-year-olds who are cooks trying to make sure we don't see our cities burn. This is that catch-22. The more police are there, the more tension it is. The more tension it is, the more chance you have to get things. Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory.
So, does that sound like somebody that wants to help rebuild our country in a positive way with law and order? Or does that somebody sound like socialist, communist values that they care more about illegals coming in than they do our own private citizens, our own homeless population, including our veterans? Let's see what Jesse Kelly, or not Jesse Waters has to say. I wish I had Jesse Kelly also.
White value. Come on, this guy's a lunatic. Sanctuary cities, driver's license for illegals, sanctuary cities for sex changes for children. And if you don't want the sex change for your kid, then the state will come take your kid away from you. This guy put tampons in boys' bathrooms. 4th grade boys' bathrooms, tampons. He wants CRT taught. He was all about toppling the Columbus statue. This guy changed the flag of this state to look more like Somalia. What is wrong with this guy? In COVID, he had a snitch line so your neighbors could rat you out if you broke his lockdown rules. This man is out of his mind. He actually went and joined the army, and then right before they deployed to Iraq, quit. And all his unit is like, whoa, bro, where'd you go? They can't stand this guy. I've never seen this guy ever try to get out of a DUI. He said he was deaf from being in the army. And then he blew a .12. I didn't know that. And Jessica, I have to ask, why did he honeymoon in China? What? He's been to China 30 times. That's strange.
Oh,
I find that
he was there with Hunter Biden?
Suspicious.
Okay.
So again, don't take my word for it. Don't take Jesse's word for it. Do your own research. Do a deep dive. Although I'm probably sure they're changing all of their posts on social media and everything to take out everything that he's talking about. But do your own homework as far as who this person is and what type of values he's got. That's going to be, the next in line for helping run our country if they get elected. Let's look at what Greg has to say.
The coordination, for example, all of a sudden the word weird popped up last week over and over again.
His idea.
And what's the word now? And Jessica used it, Midwestern. So Ezra Klein says, Tim Walz is the Midwestern dad Dems need. And then Jessica mentions the Midwestern values. If you Google Midwestern, you're going to get Tim Walz. So what is Midwestern? Is Midwestern looking at riots and saying it was caused by the lack of equity and inclusion? Is that Midwestern? Is calling those events exciting, and that reflects a sense of optimism? Is that Midwestern? He abandoned lawful citizens to gain favor with the lawless mob. By stereotyping the riots as an activity of an oppressed group, he destigmatized criminal activity. This is a huge thing. And essentially, he gave criminals more rights at the very worst time. He made them special and possessing of more rights than the victims that had to endure that. As for the National Guardsmen, when he said they shouldn't come here because they're just 19-year-old cooks. Well, at least the only thing they're burning are food, as opposed to the 19-year-olds burning down into Arby's. I think this is a match made in heaven, or hell. You have Walz and Harris, they're he defended the burning of his cities. She helped bail out the arsonists. They're the woke Bonnie and Clyde. They're the left's Laurel and Hardy. It actually makes perfect sense. Meanwhile, and I have to return to this idea of giving special rights to a group. Every victim during that period of time, black, white, Asian, old, in that state, was a unique person. They weren't a group. Therefore, they weren't conferred special rights.
Right.
And so the cowardice of Walz and Harris had them bow to the individual criminals because they were seen under the group of the oppressed. Meanwhile, individual victims became subservient to the special rights of the people that were preying upon them. That's the thing. It's only one thing. It's only one thing. All those other things you mentioned are disgusting. He is a snitch. That's gross. He's a male Karen with power and a potbelly. But you know what? That defense of what went on post George Floyd, that everybody needs to know who that is. By the way,
Yes, everyone needs to know who that is. For somebody that lets their city burn down, lets people just get away with crime. And the people that got their businesses burnt down are the people that their property values went down because of tent cities and people just trashing with junk all over the place, their town or their city. That is unforgivable. And for him not, if he can't take care of his own city, how can Tim Walz take care of a whole country? Is he going to let the whole country burn? Do your own homework, everybody. How many of you remember this? Now, again, this is the debate stage when Kamala Harris was initially running for president, but then bowed out early on in the race because she was not popular. Now she's the Messiah. She's the new Barack Obama. But let's look at a little back history here.
1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way. Bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
But wait, there's more, everybody. I want to kind of do a little bit of a dive here. Let's look into who is really running our country. You have Joe Biden, that was a puppet all along, that they hid the fact that he was suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, whatever else. The media hid it, his press secretary hid it, and Kamala Harris is the biggest one, as well as Joe Biden's wife, that hid his state of mind or his state of welfare. And then you have Nancy Pelosi pretty much saying, look, step down as running for president, or you can do it the easy way or you could do it the hard way. Nancy. And Nancy Pelosi came out and admitted on an interview that she's the one that pretty much stabbed President Joe Biden in the back and gave him that ultimatum. This is the easy way or the hard way to step down. And Joe Biden is regretting that now. Who knows what's going to happen at the Democratic convention. I hope Joe Biden says, I was forced to be in this position. I'm still running for president. But who knows what's going to happen, so stay tuned. So if you guys remember this, on November 5th, 2020, mortgage rates were around 2.75%. They're now 7%, and it's, I've got my real estate and my mortgage lending friends that I network with saying that interest rates are coming down, but they're not coming down to 2.75%. Hell, the stock market is crashing as soon as they found out Kamala Harris is the one that's replacing Joe Biden for running for president without the electoral votes, by the way. You remember when gas prices were only $1.80 a gallon? I'm paying $3.39 out here. It keeps going up and down, but I'm paying. And I as a supplemental income am an Uber and Lyft driver, and I'm putting 300 to 400 miles a day on my car. I'm going through a tank of gas every day, and that's anywhere between $45 to $50 based on that. It should only be $25 to $30 to fill up my car if it was at $1.80 a gallon. Every problem that Kamala brings up, she has had the last 3.5 years to fix. When she copies off of President Trump and says, we're going to do no tax on tips. You're in position to do that now. Why don't you do it now and show people that you can lead? You're so-called an equal to President Biden. Why don't you do that now? You're saying stuff about energy that now no fracking. Now you're going to frack. Start doing it. Start the process. Let's not wait. Oh, when I'm president of the United States, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You're already in position and you're already in power to start doing that now. So you're a do nothing person. She's done nothing. You're looking at these are not blue states. These are just 15 to 20 big blue cities trying to tell the rest of the country how to live or who to vote for, what to do with your get an EV car or change your gas stoves to electric stoves. It's all these blue cities, not states, that are telling us what to do. So, again, do your own homework, do your own research, and as always, wake the clock up, America. Wake the clock up. What I'd like to do is now take you into my new venture. Where we've opened a business, and here's the unveiling of that. So, Self Defense Pros, we are a consulting and training company where we work with martial arts schools. If they've got any type of curriculum, or if they don't have any type of curriculum that involves specialty self defense, weapons training, or if they want to work on creating an active demo team or competition team, those are all things that I've done all in the past when I owned my own brick and mortar martial arts school. And now I'd like to travel and help as many schools as I can. We also do seminars, group seminars for youth organizations, churches, or businesses on personal safety or self defense. And if you live in Florida, we do home based private lesson training. So you can contact us. Just go back to info at the rayamanat.show.com. Email me there, and I would be happy to give you information about Self Defense Pros and what we've got going on with that. We're excited to be getting out not only into the public but into the communities, but on a national basis, doing lectures and seminars to help promote safety in our schools, churches, businesses, and communities. All right. So let me see where we're at. We need to go back here. Too clucky, the chicken. All right. So wake the cluck up. As always, all the red states that you see on this flag are states that I have spoken in or done seminars. And we're trying to get all of the gray states set up where we do lectures and seminars. So if you live in any of these gray states and you're listening to my voice, send us an email or message me. You can go to look for us, Self Defense Pros, on Facebook. Like, follow, comment. We'll be posting videos and things like that on there soon that help you get started with your self defense journey. This is our QR code for the Ray Amanat Show merchandise store. If you want t-shirts like what I've got on now of Plucky the Chicken, or if you want the Ray Amanat Show logo with the microphone, we've got mugs and other paraphernalia. Just scan this QR code and go check us out. And as always, to wrap up the show, if you're in need of help because of a domestic violence issue, a suicide issue, or if you know somebody that's suicidal, or if you just see crime happening in your community, businesses, or things like that, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799 SAFE. Again, 1-800-799 SAFE. You can call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. I got to make sure my dyslexia does not kick in on that. But yeah, sometimes I think last episode I read the numbers backwards. But Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-TALK. And of course, Crime Stoppers USA is 1-800-222-TIPS, where you can make an anonymous tip based on anything that you see, criminal activity in your neighborhood. That is all the time I have for this show. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. If I can get this working. Technical difficulties again. We need some music. And here we go.